All right. So on that note, I want to ask a quick question. I'd like a quick response to this question, and then I want to get to some audience questions because we had some good ones come in. But Dr. Lee, you just mentioned the supplier community, and I've often heard that it takes spending money to save money. But we're in a pretty tight, especially for new and emerging biopharmas, we're in a restricted capital market situation right now. Cash runways for a lot of companies have kind of shortened up a bit. So give us some advice on managing financial risk or preserving capital in relation to enabling some of these process efficiency investments that may come from or be required of the supplier community.
Yeah, of course, there's no easy answer for that because I think the answer is highly dependent on each company's situation. So, what is their cash runway? What are the milestones that they need to reach to show value to the investment community or to their upper management in a larger organization? So, if your priority is getting into the clinic quickly and demonstrating clinical proof of concept, for example, you may choose to front load some of those investments to be able to get your product into the clinic. On the other hand, if you have a longer view and want to establish a very robust process from the beginning, something that might be, let's say, launch ready from the point of entering into the clinic, that's a different kind of conversation and a different kind of investment as well. So it really depends on your company's priorities, your company's ability to access and spend cash that's available, and how fast or how long that runway will be to support those priorities.
Yeah. So in that vein, I want to get to an audience question that I think is a good one, but perhaps challenging to respond to. A question from Navneet. Platform timelines are usually accelerated. Everything's accelerated, right? Platform timelines are usually accelerated and assume that your molecule will fit in the platform. So classic scenario. How do you prepare for scenarios where your molecule might not fit in or there are surprises that lead to a big impact on timing of IND filings? Again, challenging question to respond to.
Yeah, great question, Navneet. And so this is why I think, it really pays to do the developability work up front. Before you're ever in that position where you're in manufacturing and, oh my God, the molecule is just not working in the platform. You never want to be in that situation where you've done all your preclinical studies and you're in a manufacturing setting and you just can't move it forward. Because by then you've already made that decision to move into manufacturing, you've made that investment, and that's a pretty big price to pay. Doing those upfront developability assessments, that's cheap money, right? You're doing work with that molecule in the discovery labs anyway, so you might as well build in that small investment early on so that you can move your product more quickly into manufacturing and into the clinic later on. So that would be my simple advice. Do those developability assessments.
Yeah. Avril, anything to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of almost my answer to the previous question was, yeah, we sometimes have limited resources and we have to prioritize what we're getting done. But a lot of times I like to also think about how do we spend a minimal effort and parallel a few initiatives, whether it's a technology evaluation or a strategy around something, just have it ready. Have it, it's only half baked, but it's ready to come out whenever we have an issue or a challenge, especially if we feel like there's one that's a higher risk, something that's a higher risk. So that preparation may help this type of scenario. I also will just chime in and give a shout out to my tech ops colleagues. I have one that says, we will always figure out a way to get it done. So if a molecule gets to us, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's kind of the credo of all tech ops people.